viewers, welcome to Chungu Cha Jamii. I'm your host, Eunice Mugo. Today on the show, we are talking about self-awareness. Do you know yourself? What is self-awareness? Why is it important to have self-awareness? On the show, I have a guest who is going to help us understand more about this topic. Before she introduces herself, you can get us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Our guest.
Okay. Good morning. Happy New Year. My name is Pastor Paul Blessing. I'm the director of Star with Paul, mentorship program, motivating and preaching program. And we are here today to look at how we can be aware of self and how we can work on it. Yes.
Thank you so much, Pastor Paul Blessing, for honoring our call. It's always a privilege having you on the show with your great insights.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about self-awareness. Being a new year, it's good when we start the year at a high note. After we have aligned our goals and resolutions, now we know ourselves. We understand ourselves better for us to be able to work through the 12 months or the
365 days.
Now we have reduced the days.
How many days?
340? 45. We've reduced some days.
Okay.
And with that, help us to understand what is self-awareness.
Okay. Self-awareness is knowing self. And now what is self? Mostly what carries self is our emotions, our motivators, our triggers, what causes us maybe to react in different ways. When you learn to understand those things, you are able to be on check. You can be able to do self-check so that you don't go wrong. Of self-check so that you don't become too humble and destroy yourself. You need to have that balance. So when you are aware of yourself, one of the things that you do is that you have the ability to monitor self, your emotions, to monitor your triggers, what triggers you to do things, because it's usually within the soul realm. Yeah, you know, a man is a spirit. You have a soul and live in a body. But what makes you is within your soul realm, whether it's your heart, your mind, your emotions.
So now that you have helped us to understand that our awareness are built of our emotions, our moods, and how we think and relate when issues come. So why is it important for us to incorporate all this in knowing ourselves?
As you have said, that self-awareness is about self. And who is a man? A man is a soul. Because the spirit which is connected to God. The body is my house where I live. So all that happens in you is with the soul realm. That's where your mind is.
True.
A mind has a lot to do. It is connected to your heart and to your emotions. That is where you make your will. Decisions that you make, it is within all that. So if you are not stable, you need to learn to control, to know when to trigger, when to get motivated, and when to act. So you need to be able to always have a pause, not to be fast in making decisions, in doing what you do, because being hurt, being put to anger, bitterness and all that, it is inevitable. It is here with us, and it will never go anywhere. When someone tells you that, forgive me, I will not do this again, be prepared, because they will do it again.
It's not a guarantee.
It has to be done again.
True.
So it's nothing like, I will not repeat it, because it is human. It is within the soul realm. So what we just need to do to be self-aware of ourselves is that ability to control. and to know when to make a decision and when to go out, when to come in, when to act, and when not to take any action. Because if something happened here now, which will someone may becomes and causes star unto us, and by that what they have done, we are supposed to rebuke him or even take him out. But maybe you sit and just look at him. You will even go back and ask, and what has really happened to those people? I'll give you an example. I have a friend in Malawi that we do business together. So one day I called him. Then as we were talking, it was like he was being charged by something. Madam, which I called you. Then I said, excuse me, sir, what is happening? Someone has blocked me with their... Someone came out of the supermarket. I found someone had blocked him with his car. Then I told him, excuse me, become an observer today. Don't talk to that person. Go stand somewhere far from that person and see what will happen. And you'll find you could have been very stupid to have even rebuked that person. It was someone new in that town. He doesn't know how they do things. He came very sorry, apologizing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Then you feel that remorsefulness. How he was so guilty. You could have rebuked him, maybe beaten him. You see, those people, how they usually react. And he said, surely you have helped me. I told him, just become an observer.
True.
Stand somewhere away, as if you don't own the car, and become an observer. He looked for the owner of that car and came to apologize.
Very wise.
So that response, the stimulus, we call it the stimulus and the response. When you are stimulated to do something, how you are triggered, how your ability to control that.
Now I can just picture this man, him being a businessman, stooping to that level of going to argue or taking action at the first level of thinking, and the embarrassment that comes with it afterwards, after you realize
is remorseful.
it is so wrong, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, given that, a lot of us are in the position of learning ourselves, but at the same time confused of who we are, what we are made of, and what we want to become. We call it identity crisis. Can you help us to understand what is identity crisis in this perspective, now that you're talking about awareness? When should one know that he or she is going through identity crisis, and how to manage and be able to overcome it?
Let's give you an example. There's a time I did a show in mass communication. Someone was doing a project on these people who you find by birth, they are transgender. Yeah? So that person is not, there's not something that they wanted, they were born like that. So you find if you give birth to such a child, you feel embarrassed. You start doing operations maybe to make sure this child becomes a boy or a girl. But a man is a spirit. This is a body that person is living in. The gender is within the body realm. So this person knows whether it is a girl or anajijua, I'm a boy or I'm a girl as a spirit. So if the strength is on the girl and you're trying to push to become a boy, there's identity crisis comes in.
True.
You will push into that, do those operations, and put that child in a crisis in life. Now, let's go to a person like you. You have never understood. Let's be like myself when I told you that I was working as a civil servant and I was just there. I look at people who I left there. When they come to this themselves and know something else you can do out there. Because that person is comfortable. You get comfort because you are paid a good salary. You are doing your bills, you are doing everything, you are educating your children, but you have not started living. You have never known who you are. Because, like for example, me, I got employed at the age of 18 years old. If I got comfort in that job, the rest of my life I lived there. I never become who I'm supposed to be. Because that was a process of where you are going. Because there's a process, you will go somewhere, you'll be taken somewhere, you go to school, you interact, you learn, and by that you are still supposed to be working to identify who you are. So it comes with seeking, identifying, and wanting to know. Immediately you start having that crisis in yourself. It's because there's need to know. They are losing that crisis because they don't even worry. They don't care who they are. They're just living. Immediately you start desiring. Because, as we said, a man is the thought of God. You are a word. God brought you for a purpose. That's why you are thumbprint. Nobody like you.
True.
Everybody, God brought them here for a purpose. And that purpose of God, for you to achieve it, you must desire to know. Desire like what? You have to be prayerful. There are those who will come out by people knowing them. Like me, I started this as a singer because I sing. I was going for a show like this just to talk about my music. But my host, like you, said, no, you can speak. Next time we are giving you a show. Someone brought it out. You see, people around you, some God will use them to bring out who you are. There are those that you will seek in your prayer. There are those who don't know how to pray. So God will cause people around them to bring out who those people are. And maybe someone will hold your hand and push you to go and become what you are supposed to be.
True.
So you need people. That's what we are talking about. Destiny helpers. Destiny connectors. Someone said sometimes we ignore the people around us. It doesn't matter however weak someone is, however poor someone is. That person could be carrying your destiny and you don't know.
You don't despise them
Don't
simply
despise.
Because you're not in the same caliber of thinking or
maybe
class.
you have been desiring to get a job somewhere. And maybe a newspaper or a magazine is being sold in the jam. And you are not being sensitive. But maybe an angel is pushing this man to bring this newspaper near you. Even the police have stopped the jam just because of you. But you are not sensitive. So you need to be very much alert. How to become alert? You must be prayerful. You don't be alert because you are sharp. Yeah.
Given that example, it has reminded me when you're talking about the newspaper vendor, when they say that we had gone, I can't remember quite clearly if it was a conference or something, and you are told, you never know who is your destiny connector.
Yeah.
You never know who is your destiny helper. So when you are being asked, how did you know about this? Some will say, I had it through a social media. I had it through the television advert. Another one said, I saw a tout wearing a t-shirt.
Imagine.
Written. So this person is just wearing a t-shirt just for the sake of
But it's
wearing.
your destiny helper.
Not knowing that he's carrying a message for me.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, because most of us just wear without knowing what is written, or without even thinking what you have been written in whatever t-shirt or hood you're wearing. So this person is wearing a t-shirt with the information. And now this one was alert to see the information and to pursue it. And now this is how
They got it.
they got connected and they changed.
I told you the highest level strategy and with things out there done is by God. Look at Moses, the birth of Moses. You know, this time when you look at the time Moses is born, it was almost time when God wanted them to leave Egypt. But already they were at rest because they were eating good food and they are having what they want. But God had to staff around to start provoking them so that they may cry to him to bring a solution. Here Pharaoh now realizes that he wants to destroy these people. But God is very strategic. The child that he has chosen, he makes sure Pharaoh takes care of him, educates him, takes him through everything until he's through.
Wow, when Pharaoh has taken care of Moses as his own, only to come and realize that he's going to be used to save the people of Egypt.
Let me tell you one thing Moses learned which is very unique. I'm not taking time. In Egypt, witchcraft and sorcery is the way. So Moses, being a prince, he was very much taught in high level of witchcraft and sorcery. That's when God was meeting him at that mountain, he has to do something very unique that even the witchcraft of Egypt could not have done. He saw a burning bush which was not burning. Said, this I did not learn it in my L levels. And he was told, remove your shoes. Yeah.
That is so insightful, actually, and a very different dimension to look at it. Because all this we come to learn through what we go and what also the Bible being as our menu to go about this life in the correct way, to understand how God purposed to do things differently, since we learned from the former authors, or should we call them. So given that you have helped us to identify the crisis that we go through, and knowing ourselves and the importance of it all, so when do we now, having known that this is my crisis and that this is how I should go about my emotions, how now do I balance it with my day-to-day life, with if I'm a student, if I'm a parent, if I'm working? How do I balance all this?
Emotions has no age.
Sure.
You'll find a very small child who has serious bad emotions, and you find a old person who has the same. So emotions, at whatever level you are, you need to have your personal. It's called self-awareness. It is personal. It is not about others. It's about you. At whatever age you are. Let's say you are in school, and as we have said that Moses was a prince in the palace, but he was ordained by God for a mission. So for him to come to realize who he was, there must be people involved in order to bring him out to be. So there must be people around you. That's why we are saying, whoever there be a destiny connector, there are also destiny helpers who will help you to achieve what you want to do. But in self-awareness, you must work on self, both positive and negative, because most of the people have failed to achieve, have lost opportunities, have lost great jobs because of how they handle their emotions. And they are not aware of self. Because as we said, triggers and motivators and emotions, they affect your daily life.
On that note of triggers, emotions, and motivators affect our daily lives, what pushes us, what builds us in terms of emotion? And you said it has no age. Having understand that, what are the factors that pushes us to know ourselves and to adhere to what you've identified about yourself?
I would say that it comes a time that you realize that the way you are going, you know, it comes from you. You realize that I think this way I'm taking, I'm not doing the right thing. So you start watching yourself, and you sit here. It's what we call me time. You need to have me time, and you call yourself, come here, let us talk. Where are we going? Where have we come from? True. What have we not done? What have we not achieved? That's why we are saying, even the resolution that we write down, keep them. Then you can be able to refer. I plan to do A, B, C, D. Did I achieve? What do I need? Then from there, now you are able now to start looking for those things. Usually people are the highest level of wealth that you can have. You need people around you that tell you how you are able to do it. But make sure you drop those who discourage you. Not unless the discouragement is positive. When you find someone who shows you that you are not able, every time they tell you something negative. You are not able, you can't do this, you are not been able even to do it earlier, you cannot achieve, you cannot amount to anything. Such people, drop them. We surely say, scroll, select, and delete. Yeah, you don't need them.
Scroll, select, and delete.
Yeah, it doesn't
delete
matter
them from your life.
Me, I don't care even if you are a family member. When I realize that you don't support what I do, I talk to you just because we are talking. but I remove you from what I plan. I don't even involve you. Because every time someone shows you are not able to do, you amount to nothing, they destroy your confidence.
True.
The highest level of wealth in a man's life is their confidence. When you are confident, even you are called in a meeting somewhere, the way you express yourself, you may come out with an opportunity or lose it. Someone said, when you want to know someone is stable in for an interview, the first time you look at them, you can tell. Someone who can look direct to your eyes, hiding something. We may work with you somewhere in the security place and you find someone, you go. The other one, they will check and check and check. They look at your eyes. If you can't look at me directly, if I greet someone, I look into their eyes. That is a sign of confidence. But if you greet someone and you bow down, it's like you are looking for something.
But what if it is your tradition when you're saying, let me use an example of those who bow, eh? So I'm saying hello to you like our other brothers and sisters in, is it Uganda? The one that they bow when they're talking to their husbands. Or maybe our Maasai community. When a woman is saying or saluting the elderly man, you don't look them to the eyes. You bow, they touch your head.
That is now at just a cultural level. We are talking about the corporate and where we are realizing where we are. Leave corporate, cut us out of this. So if you are going to meet someone who needs to understand who you are, let them see your eyes direct. Every time you greet someone and you are wet on your hands, that is nervousness. So that person, you cannot trust them.
Really?
Why are you nervous? Over what?
What if it is a disorder? Because I came to learn, I was doing a research some time back, and it is a disorder or a condition, should I, less words to use.
For that one you will know, but usually, now let's talk of a stable person who has no condition. Drop the cultures and drop the disorders. Let's...
Wow.
Yeah, you greet someone and you already wet on your hand, you are nervous. Why are you nervous? Yeah, you cannot be trusted.
Because, no, really? Why can you not trust me? Maybe I'm excited to meet you. Maybe I've been, what should I say? Lack of better words. Maybe I've been intimidated by the great things that you have achieved. Not simply because I'm looking up to you as maybe my mentor or my role model, and I aspire to be like you. So when you come to say hi to me, I'll be like, I'm excited, but at the same time, you know, that feeling of, is it really you?
That person has two eyes like you, only went ahead of you. Yeah.
That is
Stop
what
that.
is making...
You. No,
that is why I'm sweating.
I'm trying to tell you, you have to make sure your emotions are very stable.
Wow. And my emotions...
By doing that stability, I used to be like that. Someone helped me, and God bless that person. I don't know, I've never met that person again. We were going for an interview, and when we were just about to get employed after school. Then that man looked at us, so we are a team of about 7 people. Just about to enter the interview room. He saw how nervous we were, and he said, let me tell you guys, do you know what? Those suits is what you are fearing. Strip them naked. Don't want to see their nakedness. Strip them the suits. You not fear them. What we fear is what people wear. You look at you see that thing you are put here, a small God has come on earth. They are shaking. That is a human being like you. Approach them as like a human being. Be stable emotionally. And the first shake of hand and the way you look at that person in their eyes, they know this person I can trust.
So powerful.
Stop waiting on your hands.
So powerful and so personal.
Yeah, you start working on that.
Now, given that, we have identified my shortcomings of sweating,
you see now,
and being nervous. How do I improve on this?
Yeah, just
not necessarily
you
that
start
point,
speaking
but
to self. Start on the mirror and talk to that person. Tell that person how great they are. Address that person until emotions become stable. And that is you. You should not fear anyone. Before God, we are all equal. It is just a responsibility he has been given, she has been given, she went ahead of you, she achieved that, and you are coming.
True. True.
I'm coming for you. But what causes people not to identify themselves and get confused is like those people. In our family, I will give an example of where I come from. You find one family, they are rich, others are middle class, and that. So the rich ones, it's like they look at you like, you don't even need to go to school, you can be taking care of our cows. You see? And those things cause people to get intimidated. You know, this person from the family of those who are said to take cows, as we talk now, they are the richest in that area. Because they did not accept to be put down.
By the circumstances.
Because those who are from rich houses, they felt like you don't even qualify. Yeah. You see? But when you stand up and see yourself, God made you as the best. You are an idea of God. He created you for a purpose. And you are going to achieve and make him happy. The others will fall down out of your way. You can become the president of this nation. Why? Why not you? You can lead this country. Yeah?
Wow, taking up the shoes of being a president.
You are my first candidate for emotions.
Taking up the shoes of being a president.
Imagine.
When you're giving that example, it has reminded me of a clip I was watching the other day. And this clip was talking about not accepting how people look down on you. So this lady owns a company. She's the owner. But in the recent past, when one is applying for a job, they have come to realize it's not all about the papers. It's about the values and characters that you bring on board. You can be very good at your papers, but you lack characters and morals. When someone needs your help, you're not able to help them because you're money-minded, simply because that is what you've been trained to do in your field of work. So this lady was pretending to be a cleaner. And one of the interviewees was a former classmate. Now, she realized, she didn't know that is a former, but when she saw her, she was like, it is you. Going to hug her and she, please, please, please. No wonder you are a cleaner and you want to associate with me. Already categorized. Going to the interview room, this lady that she was looking down upon, simply because she was not performing in school, is the owner of the company. And ego could not allow her to identify that she is a leader. She lost it. She did not get the job.
Of course, you can't.
Because even when the security person was coming to take her out, she was like, you're the one who is sick. She's the one who is supposed to be out here. She's just but a cleaner. But being the owner of the company, she has humbled herself to be able to see the character of the people she's going to take in her company. And she has seen this one. Even after coming here, you're still not sorry to see that I can be. Now, after that is when she is now starting to be humble. How did it happen? How? Because I feel that amidst all that, self-awareness, because this one showed me that this one lady is so egotistic, not willing to accept that this other person can be a leader, can be the owner of the company. And now not being able to accept it made her lose the job and the opportunity to learn.
Leave alone being the owner of the company. A cleaner could be a destiny connector by God.
True.
Destiny connectors are people who are not able to give anything, but they lead you to what you need.
Very
true. So if you go dishonoring people because how they dress, where they work, who they are, I tell you, you lose it in life.
We have seen that in life because a lot of people miss it.
Yeah, they miss
And come to realize it when it's too late and you cannot do anything or collect anything from it.
Then the damage is too much. Emotionally, you don't even know where to start.
Wow. Now, how do you help these people now for you to know that it is time to call yourself in a meeting and to humble yourself?
Study your pattern. Some of them are family patterns. You know, soul is connected to bloodline. So you need to have me time with God and ask him to help you to come out of the cage of family, cage of upbringing, cage of all that, but you must use prayer. Also, the people that surround you, the kind of training that you have got. Usually, I don't know whether it was you or it was another show we had, and I said, personally, I went through an emotional issue because of an house help that we had. When I think I was in class 3, our house help found me in a mirror. I wonder what she said. Even you, sura mbaya, unajiangalia kwa kioo. I tell you, at that tender age, that thing sank in me. I believed I was too ugly to see myself in a mirror. Throughout my education, I never used my mirror unless nobody is around. And if I feel someone coming, I drop it. There was nothing to look at in that mirror. That is called a spoken curse. It sinks in you. It needs someone else to come and tell you, no, you are beautiful, and you believe. It leaves you.
Wow. So we should be mindful of what we hear, what we
people
take
that
into
take care
our
of your
hearts.
children when they are tender. Make sure you have good relationship with them so that they speak tender language to your children.
True.
Others is not because they have done anything, they are just arrogant. But let me tell you, a child is a sponge. What you say, they absorb.
True. On that note of being a sponge, on what you say you absorb, we are going to take a short break. Viewers, we are learning a lot about self-awareness and identifying yourself and knowing that other than children, you're also a sponge. You absorb what you touch, what you hear, what you see, where you walk into. You should learn all that, as I am learning more from Pastor Paul Blessing. You're helping us to understand that we are a sponge and we absorb what is being put into us. As a child, one may not be able to understand or to know what to absorb, what not to absorb, depending on what has been poured to you. Because a sponge doesn't choose what to absorb.
It receives.
But the person who is holding the sponge choose what to absorb with the sponge and what not to absorb. But the same sponge also has the ability, once you squeeze it, to release what it has absorbed. And I have come to learn you can only give out what you're made of or what you have been impacted or you have in you. You cannot pour out from this cup, you can't pour out a juice if you did not put in a juice. So you can only pour out what you have. Given said that, what are the benefits of self-awareness?
Yeah, you know, when you are self-aware of, you have self-awareness and it is purely emotional intelligence. Let's just make it open. Yeah, because when you are intelligent emotionally, personally, you achieve what you want to do and also help others around you. There's no way you will be help me emotionally if you personally, you are not emotionally stable.
True.
If your motivators and triggers are confused and you don't even know which way to go, you cannot help others around you. So immediately you come to personal self-awareness, as we have discussed now. You extend to be able to monitor the people around you and help them. Let's say, for example, you are a teacher and you are already become a teacher not having self-awareness. You're just living because you're there and you know how to read and to write on the board and tell the children to write also. But you find you cannot be able to help those children through, because if one of them is emotionally weak, you are already emotionally weak, you can't help them. So you need, now when you come to realize who you are and you work on self-awareness, you become stable, know what you're supposed to do, know what is wrong and what is right. Now the people around you are able to help them. And especially if you have gone through the worst of it, you are able now to help another and tell them, I went through this and you don't do this. You need to be able to look at your response when you are stimulated, because it is purely about emotions. And it doesn't matter the rich and the poor, we all have emotions. It doesn't matter those who know God or those who don't know God, we all have emotions. And they need to be controlled at levels of what comes through to us. If you are a leader, for example, and you are emotionally unstable, and you have already been given a position, that position you will spoil it, because the way you will handle the people around you. Like nowadays, every company works through teamwork. You may find someone has great brains in your team, but because that person is junior, you have not been able to use the brains of that person to be able to achieve what you want to do in that company. But every time when you become emotionally stable, you are not insecure of your position. You bring your team abroad. You tell them, everybody give me your views. And when you open your heart to those people, they also become emotionally stable. They find, so boss can also honor me to give out views. And you find they have views that can help you to grow your company. So you will have lifted their emotions, made them self-aware of themselves, as you have also become. Then the team becomes great. And the company achieves it. But if you are insecure, if maybe you don't have self-awareness, you are insecure of your position, you feel like someone is taking your position. Like when you go to a place of work, you find there's a position ahead of you. Okay? You want to achieve it. And the other one wants to achieve another. There's another one that doesn't want people to come where they are. You see? But that's why we usually do team building, to show people that this is a teamwork. Whatever we achieve as a team. We achieve the goals of this company. You are paid your salary. But what is your input? To make sure that we are all like an equal team. We may have different standards of what we are, but you never know which brain has the best for us. So when you release that, you are not insecure. As we say that in identity crisis, what it usually does, it's insecurity of who you are. Not being aware and not being stable, having fear of unknown. But when you become stable, it doesn't matter. Even when someone with a bigger brain comes around, you will not be fearing them. Yes.
And given said that, how can you tell that this one is self-aware and this other one is not self-aware?
It is just about their emotions. Yeah. The way they behave. You know, behavior and character are within emotions. It doesn't matter how rich and how great you are. You may find someone very senior in the government, but when they open their mouth, the way they speak, you find surely, why should such a person have such a position? It is a shame to us, you see, because they are just speaking without thinking. They are not being taught how to control this. How what comes out of your mouth will tell us. Yeah. But let me tell you, a mouth is an instrument of communication, but it comes from your heart. What you have deposited in your heart. Yes.
What are the signs that you look at, other than the emotions part of it, given that awareness is basically more on the emotions? What are the signs that you look at and now gauge yourself as a person to know, I know myself this bit, I don't know myself this bit, I need to work myself this bit to better yourself all around? What are these signs that you look for?
One of the things that you should do is to increase your me time. And in your me time, what are you doing? Are you reading, Look, identify things. Those people who went ahead of you, and strong emotions. You can see the achievements. You want to achieve something like that. Read what they have gone through. Nowadays we have audios, we have videos. Listen more, read more. You will acquire more knowledge. Yeah, reading is very important.
True.
And listening is very important. So if you just live with that, what you learned in school, and you don't increase what you need to get more, you will lose it in life. But that's one of the signs to know that someone has self-awareness is how they bring themselves out, how they achieve their goals, and after achieving them, how they behave. There's someone who does great things, but they are stable. But someone who does a small thing, they make noise all over. Yeah. So that's stability. Or how calm. It's about being calm. Calmness is a confirmation of self-awareness. Because whether they do great or small things, they are not shaken by anything. Because they can still do more. And because of that, they are able even to give instructions from where they sit, and things are done without them coming in. But someone who has not self-awareness, even if they tell you to go and cook, they come and check whether the oil is enough. They still don't believe in you. Am I talking the truth?
I'm trying to look at it at a different perspective.
Give me your view.
When you're saying, when this one that is not self-aware gives you instructions to cook and comes look if the oil is enough, can we say that he's not aware, or can we say that he's just aware enough to know that you're given instruction, you are not aware of yourself?
No.
Because maybe you're a waster?
No. That person is not confident of anything around them. They're still searching self. And because they are searching self, they don't believe in others. Because for you to grow, you need people around you to help you to do what you do. I don't know if you're seeing people even in offices. He gives you an assignment, you are typing it, they're coming to check it, they want to come to sign, but they still don't believe you are doing the right thing. Just because they don't understand themselves. If they know who they are, they will take their seat where they are. If you do it wrong, you go and repeat it. But they follow you because they're still searching self.
Are you saying that when I give instructions and I follow you up to see if you're doing as per what I have instructed, it's because I'm battling with myself?
You're battling with self. Why can't you wait I come back? Yeah.
We are saving time.
Time on what? You send me to
on you coming back and you're doing it wrongly and you're going to repeat the same thing.
I've not finished the time. I don't know where you've seen such people. They can never sit on their seat. They are doing here and they are going to check and they are checking and making calls. That person lives a totally confused life.
And by the end of the day, you achieve nothing.
Nothing, zero.
Even what you are supposed to do, you are not able to do because you are looking on other persons.
Yes, seeing their failure. Because you personally, you are already failed inside your heart.
Wow.
When you are emotionally stable, you will relax and let things be done. There's nothing done wrong, you will correct it from where you are. And you behave like a boss that you are.
But you're told not to be a boss, but be a leader.
That is what they call leadership now. Letting them, let them feel their space they have taken, and they will do it better. But when you follow and check and check and check, you confuse them and they will not achieve, or they could have achieved more.
Wow, that one is so interesting. But time
you
is
have
not...
got in your parcel.
Yes. No. Actually, I'm learning. I like the space where I learn. I get to understand things in a different perspective.
Bring it in relationships. That's why we say let there be space. Have you seen those people when they are relating? Where are you? What are you doing? With who? That is being insecure because you don't know who you are. If in that position, that relationship, you understand who you are, you relax. Because that is, there's no, now someone is going. Nipigie picha nione hata nitaka kuona video where you are. Imprisonment. Give someone space. Let them think and be responsible for that relationship, either marriage or courtship.
Wow, that is so insightful, given that learning a lot from this lady. But time is not on our side.
Yes,
Would you give us a parting shot on this?
Okay, we thank God for that session. I'm also learning as you learn, and I know that we have touched someone. What I can say is that just work on self. Have more of your time. Study self. No, we spend a lot of time on others, our children, our family members, but we don't have time for self. That's why we don't understand ourselves. So call yourself in a meeting. Let us talk. Penina, let us talk. Who are we? Yeah, just sit down. And at the end of it, you'll find it is good. As we have come to the end of this, for those who came late, my name is Pastor Paul Blessing. I'm the director of Star with Paul, and I thank God to be here today. Thank you for having me. The Lord bless you.
Thank you, Pastor Paul, for always being so insightful, so knowledgeable, and so true and real with the knowledge that you come with and the zeal of information that you carry with you.
Amen.
Viewers, we've come to the end of our show on self-awareness. What is your take-home? What have you learned? My take-home is that we are a sponge and we absorb what you choose to absorb, what is right for you, so that when you're squeezed out, you produce what is rightful to others, and you can only give what you have. Let's continue this conversation across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Thank you for staying tuned. Till next time, goodbye.